After spending an exhausting and frustrating 2 months completely in the dark with no communication, no reassurance, and not even a hint of clarity on where his career was heading, Carmelo Hayes finally reached the point where his patience had evaporated and his need for answers overpowered everything else. This wasn't just about being left off a match card. This was about respect, momentum, and the feeling that someone was intentionally keeping him on the sidelines while the rest of WWE moved on without him. That burning frustration built until the moment he saw The Miz backstage, and from that instant, Hayes knew he wasn't going to let the night end without getting the truth. His stride down the narrow corridor toward Nick Aldis' office was purposeful and sharp, every step carrying the weight of weeks of unanswered questions and simmering resentment. He was just seconds away from demanding a meeting with Aldis himself when, almost like a scripted twist, the door swung open and The Miz emerged, his trademark smirk barely hiding the fact that he was in the middle of his own behind-the-scenes dealings. The air between them instantly thickened, and Hayes wasted no time. Without pleasantries, without small talk, he called Miz out right there in the hallway, his voice cutting through the backstage chatter. He made it clear that he had been left hanging for far too long, treated like an afterthought, and it wasn't going to be brushed under the rug anymore. This was 2 months of pent-up frustration spilling out in real time. The Miz, ever the consummate showman, didn't flinch. In true A-lister fashion, he slipped into a rapid-fire stream of explanations that seemed to dodge direct accountability while still keeping the conversation under his control. His charm was intact, his confidence unshaken, and his tone suggested that every move had been part of a bigger plan. Then, almost as if to flip the entire dynamic on its head, Miz leaned in slightly and dropped the big reveal: he had secured a match for Carmelo Hayes that very night. Not a meaningless filler match, but one he claimed was specifically crafted to showcase Melo's skills and remind the WWE Universe exactly why his name belonged at the top of the conversation. Miz painted it as a golden opportunity, one that could reignite everything Hayes had been missing, the kind of bout that could silence any critics and prove without question that he was still one of WWE's most electrifying talents. Hayes' eyes narrowed as he took in the news, the gears clearly turning in his head. For a moment, there was hesitation, a silent war between skepticism and ambition. Was Miz being genuine, or was there an ulterior motive hidden behind that Hollywood grin? Ultimately, the prospect of stepping back into the ring under the bright lights and reminding the world of his abilities was too strong to resist. After a tense pause, Melo gave a slow, deliberate nod, signaling that he was in. But just as the conversation seemed to settle, Nick Aldis arrived, walking with the authority of a man who made big decisions daily. Without missing a beat, Miz brushed past Hayes and entered Aldis' office alongside him, shutting the door behind them as if to finalize whatever arrangement had been set in motion. Hayes was left standing in the hallway, still processing the whirlwind of the last few minutes, and the WWE Universe watching at home was left buzzing with questions. Was The Miz truly acting as a mentor and ally, putting his connections to work for Hayes, or was this just another calculated maneuver in a much larger game where Carmelo was merely a pawn? In WWE, motives are rarely pure, and even the most generous offer can come with strings attached. This match could be the night Carmelo Hayes takes control of his own destiny and proves to everyone, including himself, that he is still a main event caliber performer. Or it could be the night that Miz's true intentions come to light, turning a golden opportunity into a dangerous trap that could cost Hayes more than just a victory. Either way, the stage was set, the tension was thick, and everyone watching knew that whatever happened next was going to shape the next chapter of Carmelo Hayes' WWE journey in ways no one could fully predict. After being left in the shadows for an agonizing 2 months with no updates, no calls, and not even a single hint about what was happening with his career trajectory, Carmelo Hayes finally decided he had reached his breaking point, and that was the moment he spotted The Miz backstage. With determination etched across his face, Melo made a beeline down the hallway toward Nick Aldis' office, ready to confront whoever stood in the way of answers. But before his hand could even touch the door handle, The Miz stepped out as if he had been waiting for this exact collision. The air between them was instantly tense as Hayes wasted no time unloading his frustration, telling Miz directly that he had been left hanging for far too long without a word, left wondering if his opportunities had been quietly buried while everyone else moved forward. The A-lister, living up to his reputation for smooth talking and self-preservation, immediately launched into a flurry of explanations, weaving his words with practiced charm, sidestepping blame while maintaining an air of confidence as if he had always been in control of the situation. Then, with a smirk that hinted at both reassurance and mystery, Miz delivered the bombshell. He had arranged a match for Carmelo Hayes that very night. Not just any throwaway contest, but a bout specifically designed to put the spotlight back on Melo and remind the entire WWE universe of just how dangerous and talented he truly is. Hayes, caught between disbelief and curiosity, hesitated for a moment, his eyes narrowing as he searched for any sign of a hidden agenda, but the allure of the opportunity was too strong to ignore, and after a beat, he gave a firm nod, signaling his acceptance. Just as he began to process the sudden turn of events, Nick Aldis appeared on the scene, and without missing a beat, Miz slid right past Hayes and into Aldis' office, clearly moving to finalize whatever deal had been set in motion, leaving Melo standing in the hallway with more questions than answers. The scene left the WWE universe buzzing with speculation. Was this genuinely Miz looking out for Hayes' best interests, or was this a meticulously crafted move in a much larger and more self-serving game? In WWE, alliances are as fragile as glass and motives are often layered with deception, and while this match could very well be the moment Carmelo Hayes catapults himself back into the spotlight, there is an equally real possibility that The Miz is playing a deeper, more dangerous game that could turn tonight into the beginning of Melo's greatest triumph or his most calculated downfall.